Hi, I'm Ben Hubbard. I'm the manager of video services and special events at UC Berkeley. I'm also the co-manager of the WebCast program with my colleague over there, Adam Hochman. I work for Educational Technology Services and wanted to start by telling you a little bit about our organization. We're comprised of several different subunits. The Learning Systems Group, which works on the B-Space and the Sakai initiative there, and we're a developing partner in the Sakai initiative. And they also do a lot of teaching and learning activities with faculty, training program, that sort of thing. I'm part of what we kind of term as the Learning Spaces group. I work in the Classroom Technology and Special Events group there at UC Berkeley. We also have a design and engineering group which manages the classroom installations of all of our technology projectors and DVD players and VHS decks. So I wanted to start by saying that organizationally, we're really set up well to tackle a lot of the video delivery issues that stem from a desire to provide a window into the educational resources of our institution. We just have an amazing collection of technical expertise and experience under our belt. We've got a lot of developers and programmers and great project management and AV experience that we've been able to have under this sort of single umbrella, single vision and leadership towards providing that window. So it's really been helpful to have those ties underneath our own organization and not have to make those connections across different units within the university, because that's always a little bit more difficult road to hoe. So I wanted to also mention that the classroom technology is centrally managed on our campus, which is another important factor. We manage the actual installations and the standards for the installations, and the scheduling is also centrally managed for all of our general assignment classrooms, which is also an important factor in our program. We have about 12 years of course casting. I'm going to talk specifically about WebCast.Berkeley. We have about 12 years of experience under our belt in the course casting arena. We started as a research organization, the Berkeley Multimedia Research Center, by Professor Larry Rowe. And we grew to become a campus service with a worldwide audience, and it's been amazingly successful. Our approach is focused on automated capture and delivery systems. We believe in the efficiencies that we can obtain by automating processes and reducing overhead. We also think a lot about trying to reduce the barriers of entry for faculty who are participating. I know there are some programs out there that are really great, ProfCast and other programs that are using manual recording devices. We kind of had a feeling that we didn't want the professors or the faculty or the lecturers to have to do anything other than just come in and turn on the mic like they normally would, or use the installed system, and the lecture recording would automatically start. So we've had about 12 years. We do about 44 courses a semester, so it's about 88 courses a year. And some of those are podcast, some of those are podcast and webcast, some of those are webcast only. And we kind of look at webcasting as video and podcasting as audio right now, because the podcasting I traditionally think of as a downloadable format, and currently we're only offering audio downloads. We're constantly looking for ways to improve our services and the processes, and find new ways to automate our systems and so forth. And one of the major things we really wanted to do is implement an open standards format for delivery. We're currently serving out Reel, which is proprietary, and it really has allowed us to get where we've gotten. But because we're so systems oriented, trying to switch gears is a little bit like trying to stop a freight train. It takes a little bit of research and a lot of time and some development to think about how to switch gears and start serving up different formats under our current implementation, though we're keeping that in mind. So we did a lot of research on some projects or products, commercial products that are out there, thinking about how to move into the next phase of our webcast program. Now, it's important to note that as a research project, or because of our research underpinnings, we actually were very homegrown. All of our systems, and we did all of our own development on the automated systems to deliver this content. So while we were looking at some of these products, we realized that they all met some of our needs, and none of them met all of our needs. They generally lacked a flexibility that we needed, especially because they were proprietary. So we were locked down with proprietary hardware. There were customization issues in terms of integration into our campus-wide systems like LDAP and the registrar. So campus authentication, and the registrar runs all of our central classroom scheduling. So we basically, they also had substantial cost structures, which we felt as a group that had been developing our own systems to do this automatically, we weren't sure that we wanted to make that investment and have recurring annual licensing fees that we would have to pay when there might be some potential that we would be able to do this ourselves. So we really were faced with the choice between customizing our business practices or kind of rolling our own, so to speak. All the while, we were busily launching partnerships out in the world. So we launched Apple, so Berkeley on iTunes U, Apple's iTunes U. We launched that in April of 2006. And as of now, I believe we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,600 course lectures, maybe a little more over 3 semesters. So it's pretty substantial podcast download. We have a lot of events content there as well for people to download. We even have some campus life stuff. So if you want to watch the play, you can watch. It's really famous on campus. The play where we score a last-second touchdown to beat Stanford in the 80s. We're hanging on to it. We're hanging on to it. So these partnerships. Did someone say watch your back? I thought I heard that. So these partnerships have been really successful. We've gotten a lot of valuable visibility from the partnerships, from the news and other institutions, and we get calls all the time asking us, how do you do what you do? And it's just been great because we really feel connected to the educational community, in part because of our open content stance. And I guess this is when the planets sort of began to align for us. Because of the iTunes U partnership, we had some access to inside folks at Apple, and we noticed that they had put up this slick on their website about this product called Podcast Producer. And so we started inquiring and asking them, well, what is Podcast Producer and what does it do? And we knew that some of those commercial products probably weren't going to work for us. We were kind of wrapping up our investigations, I guess you could call it. And so we found out that Podcast Producer is basically an enterprise scripting framework for capture and delivery that marries OS X Leopard server systems and Leopard client systems with XGrid and QuickTime technologies. And when we talked to them a little bit, we immediately recognized that there was an opportunity to leverage the technology to develop a next-generation WebCast systems application. So we basically decided that we were going to try and do this within the Sakai framework. And what that means is that Podcast Producer is a core component of that, and it basically runs on Apple hardware. And there is no additional fee for the actual server. It's a core component of their, or not for the server, but for the Podcast Producer. It's a core component of their operating system. So we're piloting it as a core component, and we feel like this hybrid approach basically allows us to focus on our specific needs. But at the same time, because it's within the Sakai framework, we're keeping our eyes on an ultimate goal of trying to build a community around the technology and provide that open source framework that actually could bootstrap other universities' programs for capturing content. And while we're very systems oriented and we're very automated oriented, I know there are other universities out there that are much more manual. And there's always the possibility that you might be able to take this technology and adapt it for your own purposes. So that's an interesting development. I want to talk a little bit about, just to go back to the infrastructure in the classrooms and the centrally managed equipment in the classrooms and the centrally scheduled equipment in the classrooms. Some of the power of being part of Sakai, having it as part of Sakai, is we have a local instantiation of Sakai called bSpace, and they've already meted out all the details of integrating with the LDAP and with the registrar and some of those other really important functions of an automated system that are going to allow us to basically harvest some of that data, so about when the class is and who the professor is and what the title is and some of those important metadata tags that you're going to want to inject into your content. So there's a lot of automated stuff that's going to be happening behind the scenes there. And so right now we're at about 50% installed classrooms, and with projectors and VHS and DVDs and so forth. And we have a really high level commitment from our central administration to bring that to 100% of our GA classrooms and really have everything capable. And our plan is to have over basically any classroom over 50 seats with installed technology for screencast or podcast. Then we have a limited number or select group of webcast enabled or video enabled classrooms. And it's just interesting to note that with the media as sort of the new communication tool for lecture content, and the you know, if people have been talking about Lawrence Lessig's quote about text being a dead medium, although I would argue that it's more dynamic now and not so much dead, it's really important to have sort of a more ubiquitous capture environment where you can really pull more content and make more content available. If that truly is the medium that students and others are capable of communicating in, that's the direction we want to go in. It's also a great tool for teaching and learning that content, and I believe my colleague Judy Sturr is going to talk a little bit about that tomorrow. So I believe that's it, so thank you very much.